Time and time again, people have asked me how I manage to stay so motivated, seemingly all of the time.
How do I get motivated?
Motivation is so important, not only for avoiding procrastination, but for actually enjoying your work and finding it exciting. I think motivation is the core of focused work and study. Trying to find a way to get yourself motivated is, I think, really essential for students. So I'm going to be separating this video into long and short-term motivation. This video is going to be mostly weighted towards short-term motivation, but I'm going to start with long-term. Okay, so let's start with long-term motivation. I think the most important thing for finding long-term motivation is finding your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do this? Why is this important to you? I've spoken before about an ideas book, and I cannot recommend these enough. Every single morning I will get a nice pen, because I just think writing with a nice pen makes the thing you're writing seem more important, and I will add to the list of things that I would like to do at some point. This is a chance for me to be really ambitious and just think about random cool things that I want to do, projects I might want to try. Note that these things aren't necessarily things that I can do tomorrow or even next year, but these are things that at some point in my life I would love to do. And after adding to it, I will also read through the whole of my list, like every single item, and reading through these just gets me motivated and makes me feel excited, and I will see if there is anything I can tangibly start to work towards on that list, and I will just add something from that to my to-do list for the day so that I am working to achieve my goals every single day. Understanding your personal goals for your life is so important, I think, for sustaining long-term motivation. So once you know these long-term goals, think about how studying and how whatever activity you're finding it hard to motivate yourself to do is helping you to achieve these long-term goals. And also make a note of that in your ideas book. Now let's move on to short-term motivation. Long-term motivation is obviously essential, but I want to focus on short-term motivation and how you can find motivation to study every single day and stop feeling that resistance and actually start feeling excited about doing it. And I think that comes more in the realm of short-term motivation. So this video is going to be separated into 5 sections. Number 1, turning work into play. Number 2, ways to make studying fun. Number 3, to-do lists. Number 4, taking breaks. And number 5, ideas of things to actually get you motivated. Okay, number 1, turning work into play. The really important thing is to find enjoyment in the tasks you are doing. If you can do this, then you can avoid procrastination and actually be excited to sit down and do that work. This is so much easier said than done, but you need to focus on turning work into play. So this lies in line with the Sawyer effect, which I have spoken about many times on my channel. Basically, the Sawyer effect says that we always want to do play and we never want to do work, but that it's possible to turn work into play. If you want to hear the ins and outs of this, then I would recommend watching my video all about study breaks. So typically we associate studying with work, but it's so much more sustainable and so much more beneficial if we view it as play, because you want work to be something that you're excited about. I would say that I'm in a position where studying has become play for me, and when I sit down to do some work, to do some studying, I don't view it as work, but I view it as something to be excited about, something to enjoy. I really do think that if I didn't view it in this way, I wouldn't be able to study as hard as I do. So I know that the next obvious question is,
how do I enjoy studying?
Here are a few things you can try to hopefully make studying more enjoyable. First of all, make sure that you have a good study space. Really put some time into making it somewhere that you want to sit and do work, because if you enjoy being in the space, you can motivate yourself more easily to go and work in that space. So light some candles, position yourself in front of a window if you can, pick some fresh flowers, put up photographs. After every study session, give yourself the time and the space to look into the things that you found really interesting. Think about how you can apply what you're learning to the real world. Also try to think of some really cool, unique study methods that you can try. So for example, when I was at GCSE, I would make board games to study with. Move between tasks so you don't get bored. If you can switch up the kind of tasks that you're doing, then you're less likely to find it repetitive. I like to focus on keeping my brain stimulated, and for me that means that I can't do loads of passive revision for long periods of time. I need to make sure that I fragment that with active learning. So for example, I'm going from testing myself on notes to reading some of the book. I also find personally that when I switch up my tasks, I manage to get more things accomplished. And when I review my day, I feel like I've got a lot more done because I've focused on a few different things. From experience, I find that this just leads to me being more motivated, because if at midday I can look at my list and realise that I've revised for 3 different subjects, it feels like I've got a lot done, and this spurs me on to keep on being productive in the afternoon. To-do lists are also a great way to get you motivated and excited to work. We're a to-do list culture. We love a good to-do list and ticking something off when we've completed it. I feel like a lot of us just love to-do lists. I know I am just slightly, marginally obsessed with them. I really do think that they can sustain motivation. You've probably heard me quote this before, but Jeff Sadin in his book, The Motivation Myth, said, "Success leads to motivation, leads to success, leads to more motivation." Basically, this is the idea that little successes motivate us to keep on going. And so if we want to create motivation for ourselves, we need to start with a benchmark of some kind of success. This is why it's not actually a bad idea to add to your to-do list things that you've already accomplished. I know that so many of us are guilty of this. I know I do it. I'll write a to-do list in the morning, and one of the to-dos will be wake up, which I have definitely already done because I am up and writing my to-do list. But being able to tick that and actually having a few things on your list that you're already ticking is a success, which can actually lead you to be more motivated and thus more productive that day. Every time we tick something off, we think, I am so productive. What's next? Another great thing about to-do lists is during the day you can look at those boxes that you've ticked, looked at the things you've completed, and feel like you are really getting somewhere and you're getting stuff done. To-do lists keep you accountable, and they mean that you're more likely to keep on working. And so as a result, I would recommend starting your study sessions with an easy task. So one that you are most excited about. Pick the most exciting, fun task on your to-do list and do that one first. And I know lots of people recommend start with your hardest task of the day in the morning, but I would say, even though I think having the really big meaty tasks at the beginning of the day is a really good idea, it's better to start with an easier, more fun task, because you're less likely to procrastinate on that task, and also you're hopefully going to get it done fairly quickly. So let's say you wake up at 8, you get this fun, exciting task done in an hour. That means that by 9 you can look at your to-do list and see that you've accomplished something actually quite substantial, and that can motivate you going into the harder, more daunting tasks of the day. Number 3, taking study breaks. I've done a whole video on study breaks, but in this video I wanted to focus on them in terms of motivation and using breaks to help you sustain and build motivation. So it makes sense to take your break when you've finished your task, right? Wrong. Don't take your break when you've just finished a massive mammoth task, or when you've reached a really tricky maths question that you just can't seem to crack. Keep on going. Basically, you should take a break at the least natural feeling point. The best thing you can do to make sure that you come back to your desk after your break feeling motivated and ready to go is stopping at a place where you are really excited to keep on going, where you're enjoying the work, where you're finding it really fun, where you're finding it interesting, where you're just about to go on to that part which you've been really looking forward to. Right before that, take a break. This means that during your break, you're not going to want to procrastinate because you are so excited to get back to that task. Number 4. Motivational forces. This is the 4th and final section of the video, and hopefully this is going to actually be the most useful. I really recommend keeping a list of the things that get you motivated in your ideas book. I have a list of things that get me motivated in here. This is an accumulation of books, segments from TV shows, interviews, scents, activities, exercises that help me to get into a state of mind where I am motivated to get on with my work, and I cannot recommend this enough. This way, when you're feeling really unmotivated, you can just have a quick look through this list and you can try a few things on it. Hopefully it's going to help you get into that motivated state, which it has helped you get into in the past. Quick side note, by the way, choose a scent which you are going to associate with productivity and motivation. When you're feeling motivated, light this candle, spray this spray. Obviously this won't start working for maybe a few weeks or even a month, but if you do it right, eventually you'll get to a point where you can just smell that scent and you will start to feel more motivated because your brain has associated that scent with that feeling of motivation. Okay, so here are just a few things to consider. These are things that might motivate you, they might not. I just wanted to provide some examples so you can reflect on whether any of these motivate you and maybe add them onto your motivation list. First of all, exercise. Journaling. Cozy rainy days are some of the best things for getting me motivated to study. Studying with someone can also be really great, so if you have a sibling or you could FaceTime a friend. I also find myself always getting super motivated when I chat with my friends about academics. You could also watch study with me videos in their place, reading a good book with an inspirational protagonist. I find that whenever I wear something nice, I am more motivated, like I wear a nice outfit. Meditating, having a cold shower, getting some fresh air, drinking a large glass of water, also listening to film soundtracks. So specifically for me, I find The Theory of Everything, Room, and Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close help me to get motivated. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was useful. I hope it helps you to be more motivated and keep up with levels of motivation. I know that it's so hard to be motivated at the moment. I really appreciate that. And it is impossible to be motivated every single second of every single day, but hopefully these things can help you to increase your motivation. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a productive week.